So, this is Kittyhawk history. So the beginning, 2006, 5. Mark and Evan met in a marching band, and they did what high school boys do. Riding around, going crazy. Mark liked Guns N' Roses and Evan liked Dream Theater. Fast forward a few years, friendship blossomed. Evan and Mark and a bunch of other people started moving from the suburbs into the city. This is where the threads start to come together. So you have Evan and Mark moving to Chicago. Eric came to Chicago for grad school. Kate's already here, she's got that figured out. But this time in history was really, a bunch of young 20-somethings in Chicago just wanted to make tons of music and tons of friends and connections and just like amazing people who were energized and ready to go out and meet people and do their thing. One of those people that was so significant was Mikey Crotty. Eric lived in Narnia, and a lot of people lived there. Narnia was a house that had a lot of shows. Mikey Crotty also lived in Narnia. Mikey Crotty was basically like the 5th honorary member of Kittyhawk. Mikey's role in Kittyhawk, I think, can be distilled down to savior of the band. He ends up playing shows and ends up recording a bunch of stuff. Generally being a rock, good stuff. And so people just, they start showing up, going to shows, going to people's parties, and somehow Mark and Eric meet. Mark and Eric start writing the first, what they don't know yet is first Kittyhawk EP. And then Evan comes in somewhere and starts doing something else, playing drums. And they become, they get together and they write a pretty good slew of songs, which ends up being the first Kittyhawk EP. But it's not that good. We need a layer of better stuff than what we're doing right now. Which is where somebody knows Kate. Eric knows Kate and says Kate's what we need. Kate's gonna write lyrics and melodies and tickle the ivories and be, that big synth underbelly. And then she does. That's the first EP. It's 5 Johns. And then they start touring. Kittyhawk tours the US a bunch of times and meets a bunch of other bands that are amazingly friendly. Droughts, Chicago band Droughts, please and thank yous. Free Throw, Bad Boys, Dowsing, Cherry Cola Champion, Terry and Jerry, iconic. They don't know who I am. It's funny, maybe I'll join that band someday too, and I'll be Clary. Terry, Jerry, and Clary, the Cherry Cola Champions. Do you guys ever play with Prawn? Mm-hmm. Prawn? All these people I kind of feel like are my dads, and also kind of feel like are my kids. Great bands. But those are the touring years between the EP and the album. So met a lot of people, carried a lot of gear, did a lot of damage to their lower lumbars. All that energy snowballs and fuels into album 1. It's time to write album, so they write album, and that's runaway success. And they make music video, and there's phones in there. The snowball keeps rolling downhill. And somebody calls up Eric, because everybody always calls up Eric, maybe because he's the one that always answers his phone. Tommy Royce reaches out to Eric, I think, and says, I'll book you a tour all over Europe, which they did. European tour. There it is. We went back home and wrote a couple songs for some splits. Maybe had another tour or 2. And then it was the slumber years. People are working on their bands, people are working on their careers, and fast forward 2019. This wizard man says, hey, you should tour Japan. You should come to Japan, book you a tour. This guy is some legendary guy named Hajime. who just books tours. Shouts out to Hajime. And everyone's like, of course! Who doesn't want to go to Japan? And they say, cool, let's do that. But we need something before we go to Japan. And that was someone said, we need a bass player. Let's ask Claire. Make Claire join the band so that, you know, then we did Japan. Couple shows. Well, Japan was a year ago-ish, a little over a year ago. No one's played a damn show since. There's no shows anymore. Played Japan, and then re-entered a period of forced hibernation. Until Mikey Crotty, whose idea was it? Long time ago, someone had the idea to put out a tape of all of Mikey's favorite songs. And on this tape, you get basically every song that is not on the Kittyhawk album that has ever been recorded, except for a couple of super hits of covers that we did of various songs from musical Cats. You will buy it. It's out on February 26th, 2021. If you go to countyourluckystars.limitedrun.com. I think that's a fine way to spend your money if you got some money to throw around. There's a whole lot of fine ways to spend your money these days, right? Also consider funding some mutual aid groups in your community. Times are tough right now. This is just a little tape that probably bring you some joy. Maybe some people in your life that you know like Kittyhawk, and you can say, here's a little gift. Isn't that nice? If that sort of thing brings you joy, go buy that tape. You can also stream it if you're hard pressed for cash and you still want to listen to it. But you know, listen to stuff. Listen to what makes you happy. Find your joy. Go wild. Listen to everything. And we'd be very honored if you listened to this. So that's the chips. That's the chips. Pew.